Hi, this is Arnav from the TARS team, and today I want to briefly discuss why mortgage originators, LOs, might be interested in using chatbots to speed up the mortgage application process, or at least give their prospective homebuyers the perception that the process is speeding up. So we were looking into the phrase "time flies when you're having fun" at TARS, and we found there's actually some scientific research to back it up. There have been a lot of studies that show that when you're doing a task that's particularly engaging, it feels like time is going by much quicker than it actually is. And the corollary to that, the natural outcome of that, is that when you're doing something that's unengaging, it feels like time is actually going slower than it actually is. And this is a huge problem if you are an LO, because the actual process of applying for a mortgage is extremely unengaging. From the prospect's perspective, they're submitting a bunch of boring documents. They might speak to you a couple of times during the whole process, but it's mostly just a bunch of waiting and filling out these extremely boring forms where they have to give a whole bunch of very personal details about their finances, about their financial portfolios. Now, this is a problem because it adds a significant amount of hassle to your home buyers. And when you're adding hassle to your home buyers experience, you're creating a customer service experience that doesn't delight them. It's not a customer service experience that they are going to remember fondly. And that's a big issue when it comes to getting people to refer you. In the loan origination game, we often talk about how word of mouth referrals are extremely important. And the fact of the matter is, like, a lot of your customers, they are actually speaking to their families and their friends about their experience getting a mortgage. People do speak to people they're close to about this kind of stuff. And you really want to be a part of that conversation. And if you're giving people a bad customer service experience, even if that is just the nature of the industry, you have to ask for all of these details, people aren't going to remember that experience fondly. Now, that's where chatbots come into the picture. They allow you to flip the script on the customer experience front. Rather than showing people these boring forms that they have to fill out, what you can do with the chat experience is you take that exact same lead generation experience and you transform it into a conversation. So now, instead of being this mundane task that the home buyer has to do on their own, where they sit and they fill out the form all on their own, they find where the documents are, and they submit it, again, all on their own, they are actually having a two-way interaction with a representative from your company. Now, that representative is completely automated and it essentially does the same thing as the form. But just by taking that exact same experience and putting it into a conversational context where your prospects are actually having to speak to someone to get something done, it ups the level of your customer service. It makes the prospect feel like at every stage of the process where they're filling out forms, there's someone actually taking out the time to speak with them and figure out what they need to submit, etc., etc. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this really helps you in providing a better customer service experience, and that in turn helps you in differentiating yourself from your competitors. When someone's looking for a mortgage origination company, if they speak to someone in their network and they've had a good experience with you, that person is more likely to refer you because you've provided them an experience that's good, that feels much more engaging, and as a result feels much quicker than the average, slow, unengaging, cumbersome mortgage process. If you're interested in making this shift from the non-conversational form-based approach to the conversational chatbot-based approach, check out the full guide that we created. We'll leave a link to it at the end of this video or in the comments, depending on where you're watching this.